Welcome to the bold analysis. Raila Odinga left the country last weekend in a highly guarded tour for a highly guarded trip to Dubai, and from Dubai is also expected to visit Germany. And this trip is, however, unspecified number of days. And if you check the social media the social media pages, this information, contrary to the past trips, it has not yet been publicized. However, his absence has thrown William Ruto's team in dilemma, as Raila's trip has remained one of the most guarded issues within the Azimio rank and file, where leaders have also kept their silence over the matter. However, what is also known is that Raila did not fly with other Azimio leaders and only a few of his personal aides. And that would actually point out, and the family member, and that will point out that it's not a trip that is more of a political, it's not attending a political convention that then would need the rest of Azimio leaders, and also out in his personal capacity. What is puzzling many is the fact that despite that UDA team are normally in the past very quick and fast in debunking the essence of Raila Odinga's foreign trips, they have kept mum on the matter, and either they are not aware, kept aloof, or the intelligence has aided the secrecy of Raila Odinga's trip. It is coming in time when a discussion is going on in the public whether Azimio la Umoja are going to resume their protests on Tuesday as announced, or it's going to be later on. There are two different narratives that has emerged. One is that Azimio la Umoja, through the chairperson of the Azimio la Umoja, the former Kakamega governor, Wycliffe Oparanya, told Nation that a resumption of the protest was scheduled to be on 2nd, which is Tuesday, and not Monday as earlier leaked, so that they would give a chance, or rather they would give time for the public holiday, the Labor Day celebration, for the workers to celebrate the Labor Day. And why also the other section of Azimio are also saying that they're still waiting, and rather the official announcement will be made by Raila Odinga upon his arrival from Dubai. And this is one, and I remember I got this information a bit early, and those who follow the bold know that I think a week ago I had also got this information about this trip, even though initially it was supposed to be last Monday. That's what I had gathered. It was supposed to be last Monday, but then it did happen, and then it came to this weekend. It's coming in the wake of Azimio la Umoja team saying that Kenya Kwanza, accusing Kenya Kwanza, led by President William Ruto, that there is lack of commitment in the bipartisan talks, adding that the protest will continue even as the negotiations go on. However, it is also clear that William Ruto has shown intention, whether in public or in private, whether he means it, to make sure that Raila does not resume, that the mass action by Azimio la Umoja does not resume, and has tried to do interventions, one of which includes the big gimmick on the unga drop prices, and also a change of tone that we may be willing to open the server if Kimani Ichung'wah's statement is something to go by. And it also tells you that clearly he will not want Raila Odinga to resume the protest, the mass action. And for those who are also ardent followers of the bold, I have been insisting that this will be a wrong time for him, for such a mass action to happen, because there are many ghosts, or there are many enemies of the state, including the governors, that have not received, are yet to receive their pay, the county allocation. I was told out of the 280 billion they were demanding, only 31 was disbursed. The workers are also complaining about salary delays and ridiculous taxes, or rather deductions, punitive deductions being introduced. And I'm not simply just getting it. Why? There is a 3% deduction on civil servant salaries to fund affordable housing. You would actually wonder, how about those in the private sector? Because are we going to tax, is that tax not selective? Because if you're going to tax 3% from civil servants who are earning some amount, then how about those who are in the private practice? What is the reasoning? What is the rationale behind it? Because if it's a tax regime that is to be introduced, then it needs to be predictable and it also needs to be universal. Otherwise, if it's selective, it looks punitive, but far from it. I didn't want to delve more into that. I'll have to look at that in my next analysis. But then I'm just trying to relate with some of the uncomfortable situations in the country why a mass action will not be what William Ruto want to hear at this time. So this has created, this is a jab behind any effort to avert this mass action. Where's Raila Odinga? So, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to look at some four interpretations why it's becoming, or rather why Raila Odinga's trip is a headache to the UDA administration. Before I dive deep into that, I want to say thank you very much. We completed the 7 days challenge towards the support of Mercy and buying the motorbike. And so tomorrow on Tuesday, we are going to finalize on any other aspect that is needed. I want to say thank you very much. And also in future, I've decided that, of course, it's full. We've really helped individuals. But then I want us to take a pluralism approach. So we're going to come up with a bold charity network. And through that, we can run a couple of projects that will help many. So I believe we cannot just be we can complain and we can do the armchair analysis saying what government is not doing, but nothing stops us from being part of the solution. So the humanity touch it would grow to a network, and through a network we can support many. So that's just the gist of it. We'll have to delve into the details later, but on Tuesday we'll finalize on the details of the 7 days challenge. So ladies and gentlemen, this is what is going on. And by there, I'm really, I want to receive your suggestions on how you want that network to run. Yes, for those who have idea, you can also share with us, share with me your ideas. We have a think tank together. We'll come back and crystallize it into something that can actually impact the society. It's just beyond complaining. It's also part of the solution. Now, this is it. Over the weekend, ICC responded to Azimio la Umoja letter that Azimio la Umoja wrote on how police brutalized, or rather how police handled the Azimio protests. And this could be a very good opportunity for Raila Odinga to trigger more on the ICC push with an intention to muzzle the state machinery. Because from what we've realized is that in the last protest, there have been raw power meted on protesters. But immediately, and even after that ICC letter emerged, I think we've realized that William Ruto team and the UDA team have kept it silent about the matter. And they've not yet really put a reaction to it. So this could also be linked to Raila Odinga's ICC card can try to trigger and push on that front, because again, these things is not just, and I said, it's not just about writing a letter. We have many civil societies in the country that are writing letters every day to ICC about some of these things as part of their roles or other interventions in the country. But not those letters, not a single letter has ever been acknowledged publicly from the civil society. So this is something that they could do, that Raila is also trying to consolidate, rather to solidify the ICC push so that they can muzzle the state machinery meted on the public civilians as Raila Odinga tries to push on that end. Now, Raila Odinga's absence has really thrown William Ruto back to the drawing board, because I know immediately Azimio would announce that they're resuming it, they say they're resuming mass action alongside those bipartisan talks. Of course, last time, the one that was supposed to be held on 30th, the meeting that was held on Sunday, Ruto sent emissaries, including the DPP. And then DPP was sent to meet Raila Odinga. He was accompanied by by other people. Then it was a highly guarded thing. So even this time round, I know maybe the discussion has been going on, or maybe not, but Ruto would actually want to still escalate the discussion and of course ask the opposition, the Azimio side. I don't think Azimio the opposition. There is no opposition. That's a position that I got that correction from this channel, and I agree. I took it. I don't think there is any opposition. And in fact, Azimio are not even the majority on paper. They are not even the minority on paper, because on paper they're the majority. But on politics, they have been treated to a minority gesture. So this absence would mean that if Ruto would want to talk to Raila about it, then you'll have to dispatch a team. You'll have to dispatch a team to meet Raila Odinga in the foreign overseas to have a discussion over the matter. So that comes at a cost, because again, you will look at it, you would want one-on-one, but if it is emissaries, they will be back and forth, and that will be it. Now, Raila also stands a chance, and I'm looking at it as a trip that will also be seeking international backing to checkmate Ruto. You cannot underestimate. Let me just say, some of these things, you can't just do them. You know, sometimes people ask, why is it easy for Raila to call, say we are going for holiday, and people are not going to work, and that holiday happens? Why does he trigger the states when he says it? Because the same thing, he's away. Kalonzo can say, there is no holiday tomorrow, there is no going to work tomorrow, let's go and protest. You will see the way Kalonzo's word would be treated, or Martha Karua, or any other person, and that's not to be mean then. But I'm saying what has been happening. You realize that there will be no attention to that, and it will actually be dismissed. But if Raila Odinga will make that statement, everyone in this country, starting from the political leadership, the members of the clergy, different caucuses will start now emerging. Even a group of, there was even a group of ex-military, people living with disability. There will be women for change. The lobby groups, all different lobby groups and political caucuses and the religious groups will emerge and react over the matter. But if it comes from the others, it doesn't. So that's what has always given it power. And it will also be, Ruto will also be thrown into it. Now, what exactly is the engagement outside? Even if you have the intelligence cannot man-mark Raila Odinga even abroad. At the end of the day, that's another country with its rules and everything. So it's a high possibility that is also going to get international backing over the matter. Lastly, it will also complicate these engagements moving forward, because Raila could also be at the center of deep commercial interest, or rather deep investment interest, that will need political correctness. You cannot underestimate that there are people that have also been pushed out of business. That's it. I may not be shocked to realize that at the right time, when discussions are going on, the investment or other commercial interests might also get their way in that table. The guys from the fuel sector that are complaining, and even the affordable housing. So the gas, when President mentioned about reduction of the gas, but then a month later, the World Bank that was supposed to fund the people behind the Taifa gas allegedly declined. So these are things that are all here, and we're still happening. So imagine if Raila would come and say, they will realize that apart from the political interest, apart from there could be commercial interests that are wrapped in political discourse. So that if that comes on table, it's really difficult to influence, and that's why I believe that let's have a look and see how this will play out. And if you ask me, it can only happen when Raila is in this country. I believe that mass action can only happen when Raila himself has called it. So someone is saying, Ruto must be worried, because how about if Raila says we are going to receive you from the airport? So organize something from the airport, that from the airport we are going to head directly to mass action, and that will be it. So there are a lot of discussions into that. How will it be? Can he leave the airport and say that I'm going to CBD? And I don't think we've actually realized that it's not about going to CBD. Going to CBD is overrated. When you say there is no work, people will not even go. If anything, we have a demoralized working population. The few that are working are very demoralized because the pay does not match the skills. That's my bold. Let's meet in the next.